Weather computers across the nation have reached an unprecedented consensus on what's approaching. Lynchburg recorded respectable accumulations. Beckley, West Virginia saw steady snowfall. However, skepticism remains warranted for several compelling reasons. This warming has been consistently pushed further into the future over recent days. Additionally, these time ranges extend well beyond reliable forecast limits. American GFS models tell a markedly different story regarding pattern persistence. Arctic blast after Arctic blast continues without apparent end after December 18th. Western regions maintain warmer air masses, ensuring continued eastward cold air transport. This creates a fundamentally different outcome from European model suggestions. Model reliability becomes critically important when evaluating these competing scenarios. Ensemble forecasting involves 20-plus individual projections creating statistical consensus. Single deterministic models represent just one possible outcome. Pikeville, Kentucky joined the growing list of affected communities. Long-range accuracy improves dramatically when utilizing ensemble guidance. Both European and American ensemble systems show remarkable agreement. European ensembles support continued western warmth and persistent eastern cold. December 10th through 20th maintains this established pattern. American GFS ensembles demonstrate perfect alignment with European guidance. When ensemble systems achieve this level of agreement, confidence increases substantially. The European deterministic model becomes what forecasters call a significant outlier. Statistical evidence strongly supports the ensemble consensus. Perfect ensemble agreement represents meteorological gold standard reliability. Emergency preparedness becomes essential given these extended cold predictions. The Shenandoah Valley experienced what meteorologists call orographic enhancement. Energy consumption will increase dramatically, potentially overwhelming distribution systems. Natural gas demand could exceed capacity during peak cold periods. Heating costs will rise substantially, creating financial hardship for many families. Fixed-income households face particularly difficult choices regarding heating expenses. Transportation networks should prepare for significant operational disruptions. Interstate commerce may experience delays affecting supply chains nationwide. Grocery stores could experience shortages as delivery schedules face weather delays. Community warming centers will activate to assist vulnerable populations. Emergency shelter systems may reach capacity during the most extreme cold periods. Agricultural operations require immediate protection measures for livestock and equipment. Mountain ranges effectively capture and lift moisture, creating zones of enhanced precipitation. Crop storage facilities face potential freezing damage without proper heating systems. Water systems in agricultural buildings require antifreeze protection. School districts are developing contingency plans for extended closure periods. Educational institutions cannot operate safely during extreme weather conditions. Airlines are proactively adjusting schedules to minimize passenger disruptions. Airport operations may suspend temporarily during the most severe weather periods. Ground transportation services, including buses and trains, will face operational challenges. Emergency medical services are positioning resources to maintain response capabilities. Hospital systems anticipate increased patient volumes related to weather-related injuries. Cardiac events typically increase during snow removal activities. Snow shoveling creates significant physical stress. Western Virginia's mountains performed exactly as expected. 4 to 6 inches accumulated in favored locations. Wet snow weighs considerably more than dry snow, often exceeding 20 pounds per shovelful. Slip and fall injuries increase substantially on icy surfaces hidden beneath snow. Power outages become increasingly likely as tree branches accumulate ice and snow. Utility companies are pre-positioning restoration crews to minimize outage duration. Carbon monoxide poisoning risks increase when heating equipment malfunctions. Portable generators must remain outdoors with adequate ventilation to prevent poisoning. Indoor use of outdoor grills or heating equipment can be fatal within minutes. Hypothermia becomes possible when indoor temperatures drop below 50 degrees for extended periods. Layered clothing using wool or synthetic materials provides better insulation than cotton. Cotton clothing becomes dangerous when wet, losing insulation properties completely. Eastern West Virginia also benefited from these elevation effects. Storm development mechanisms become fascinating from a meteorological perspective. Miller A storms typically track inland paths, affecting interior communities primarily. Miller B systems intensify offshore, creating classic nor'easter patterns. Coastal development requires specific atmospheric conditions, including proper energy timing. Energy phasing between northern and southern jet streams determines ultimate storm intensity. Nor'easter potential exists continuously during active clipper patterns. Alberta clippers can undergo dramatic transformation when encountering coastal energy sources. All necessary meteorological ingredients exist presently. Perfect organization timing remains uncertain. Daily monitoring becomes absolutely essential as conditions evolve rapidly. Professional meteorologists track these developments with hourly model updates. Surprisingly, light snow reached as far south as southern New Jersey and Delaware. Ensemble consensus continues building confidence in overall pattern persistence. Geographic factors consistently override individual model preferences. Mountain barriers create predictable limitations regardless of storm intensity. Orographic effects enhance accumulations in traditionally favored locations. Valley orientations determine wind flow patterns, affecting snowfall distribution significantly. Upslope wind directions amplify precipitation totals through mechanical lifting processes. Historical weather patterns provide valuable context for understanding current developments. Similar atmospheric configurations have persisted for entire winter seasons. The 1978-79 winter demonstrated identical characteristics, resulting in record-breaking cold. Arctic oscillation indices remain strongly negative, supporting persistent cold patterns. Southern Pennsylvania received unexpected dustings that delighted many residents. Pacific Ocean temperature patterns reinforce this atmospheric configuration. Multiple climate factors align simultaneously, creating remarkable pattern stability. Traditional seasonal weather patterns appear disrupted by these persistent features. Normal climatological expectations may not apply during extended pattern episodes. Infrastructure systems face prolonged operational stress beyond typical winter design limits. Engineering systems may approach operational thresholds during extreme cold periods. Economic impacts compound daily as productivity decreases throughout affected regions. Business operations face extended disruptions affecting quarterly revenue projections. Insurance companies anticipate substantial claim volumes from weather-related property damage. Property damage estimates continue rising as cold duration extends beyond normal. This pattern tracked further north than anticipated, demonstrating winter's early arrival. Energy markets experience significant volatility as demand exceeds typical winter projections. Natural gas pricing reflects supply constraints during peak consumption periods. Strategic energy reserves may require utilization if cold patterns persist into January. Heating oil allocation becomes critical for communities dependent on delivered fuels. Social support systems experience increased demand as vulnerable populations need assistance. Mental health considerations become important during extended isolation periods. Seasonal depression typically accelerates during prolonged cold and dark periods. Cabin fever develops more quickly when outdoor activities become impossible. Social isolation effects multiply during extended weather emergencies. Family stress levels increase significantly when confined to limited spaces. Now attention turns to a more substantial system developing across the northern plains. Educational disruptions affect student progress when schools close for extended periods. Remote learning systems face challenges when internet infrastructure fails. Tomorrow's analysis will examine the specific energy phasing windows that create monster storms. Miller B nor'easter development becomes increasingly probable as clipper systems encounter coastal dynamics. Timing precision becomes absolutely critical for major storm development. Coastal intensification possibilities remain viable throughout this active pattern period. Subscribe for comprehensive storm tracking and emergency preparedness guidance. Community awareness and preparation can significantly reduce weather-related risks. Share this essential information with neighbors to enhance community resilience. The next 10 days will determine winter's trajectory across much of the United States. 2 substantial winter storms will reshape America's landscape over the next 10 days. South Dakota and Minnesota are positioned in the storm's most favorable zone. Tomorrow, we explore the atmospheric mechanics that transform ordinary storms into historic events. Iowa communities, particularly around Hampton, could experience significant accumulations. Nebraska will participate in this winter weather event before the system weakens eastward. Illinois and Indiana should expect lighter amounts as the energy diminishes. Southern Wisconsin will receive the northern edge of meaningful accumulations. Recent forecast guidance suggested possible intensification along the northeast coast. However, that potential has diminished considerably in the latest computer runs. The challenge lies in energy separation. Two distinct weather systems remain too far apart. Abundant cold air exists throughout the region. The missing ingredient is sufficient energy concentration. Light snow activity will affect northern Pennsylvania, portions of New York, and New England. The first system promises to deliver over a foot of snow across the Great Lakes region. Even North Carolina and Virginia may experience scattered snow showers. This demonstrates the remarkable southward reach of the current cold air mass. Monday and Tuesday will feature another Alberta Clipper system. These back-to-back events will accumulate into more significant totals. A northwestern flow pattern has established itself as the dominant weather regime. Upper-level disturbances are sequencing through rapidly, each carrying fresh Arctic air. The most fascinating geographic insight arrives at minute 3. Great Lakes communities continue to find themselves in highly favorable positions. The Midwest maintains this remarkably active pattern with little sign of change. Eastern coastal areas face challenges from persistent energy separation. The second could blanket portions of the Northeast with accumulations approaching 2 feet. Wednesday and Thursday present opportunities for more substantial development. Significant energy approaches from the Northwest, potentially creating stronger storm systems. The possibility exists for northern and southern jet stream energies to phase together. European weather models favor more robust development. American models remain somewhat more conservative. These timing differences create inherent uncertainty in the precise forecast outcome. Upper Midwest communities should monitor developments as the primary threat zone. Great Lakes regions can anticipate significant accumulations from this midweek system. Interior Northeast areas will experience secondary but meaningful impacts. Here's the fascinating minute 3 revelation about geographic influences. The weekend period, Friday through Saturday, presents the second major storm opportunity. But there's a crucial detail meteorologists are discovering. The most revealing information comes at minute 5. Substantial energy will dive southeast in an aggressive pattern. This development could evolve into what forecasters call a blockbuster event. Ohio Valley communities sit squarely within the primary impact zone. Mid-Atlantic regions face secondary targeting depending on storm track evolution. Storm classification becomes important here. Miller A types track inland paths. Miller B systems intensify offshore, creating nor'easter possibilities. Coastal intensification scenarios remain viable depending on energy timing. The critical factor involves energy phasing, which determines the final storm outcome. 10-day snowfall projections reveal some truly impressive accumulations. European models suggest 12-plus inches across widespread Great Lakes areas. Between these major events, multiple Arctic air masses will reinforce the cold pattern. Upper Midwest communities could experience the most significant impacts. Broad regions may accumulate 6 to 12 inches over this extended period. Secondary zones still receive 4 to 8 inches, which represents meaningful winter weather. However, geography creates some sharp boundaries in snowfall distribution. Areas east of the Appalachian Mountains experience what forecasters call a cutoff effect. Maine consistently escapes this geographic limitation due to its northern position. Virginia presents one remarkable exception to this mountain barrier rule. European models demonstrate a system breakthrough that could create significant mid-Atlantic snowfall. This represents a moderate to heavy snowfall event for traditionally challenging forecast areas. Strong clipper patterns require continuous monitoring for nor'easter development potential. Why are ensemble forecasting models showing remarkable agreement while individual forecasts differ significantly? Alberta clippers can transform into coastal storms, creating extremely heavy snow systems. All the necessary ingredients exist presently. They simply haven't organized completely. Today's computer models lack the full organization that yesterday's guidance also displayed. American GFS models show less coastal activity than their European counterparts. Appalachian Mountain barrier effects dominate the eastern forecast completely. Here's the crucial Minute 5 information that changes everything. Interior mid-Atlantic communities benefit significantly from geographic protection effects. Interior Northeast regions receive enhanced accumulations from orographic lifting. Great Lakes and Midwest areas maintain their advantageous positions. Northern Plains communities join this active zone more frequently than typical. Yesterday's weather system demonstrated the power of geographic enhancement perfectly. Central and Southern Plains participate surprisingly in this winter weather pattern. Mountain regions perform exactly as climatology suggests. Cascades and Rockies accumulate heavily. Sierra Nevada shows minimal activity, demonstrating significant model variations. Temperature patterns reveal the most shocking developments of this entire forecast period. European models confirm multiple Arctic air mass intrusions over the next 10 days. Sunday through Monday brings the first significant blast, affecting December 8th and 9th. Eastern seaboard communities will experience genuinely brutal conditions. The second major cold surge arrives Friday through Saturday, December 12th and 13th. Sunday, December 14th,
near Flint,
delivers what forecasters
compelling
are calling
authorities
the
to
most
close the highway.
intense event. This third Arctic blast exceeds the intensity of previous cold air intrusions. Communities from Richmond to Charlottesville experienced their first meaningful snowfall. Monday, December 16th, extends this cold air dominance through additional midweek periods. Temperature departures reach extraordinary levels in what meteorologists call magenta zones. Magenta areas indicate 25 degrees or more below normal temperatures. Consider this perspective. If your average temperature typically reaches 50 degrees, you would experience 25 degrees instead, a difference that feels absolutely extreme. Northern communities average much lower baselines, making these departures even more significant. Multiple occasions throughout this period feature these extreme magenta readings. Almost every Arctic blast qualifies for this exceptional category. This represents unprecedented persistence in extreme cold patterns. Around December 18th, European models suggest a brief warming attempt.